Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Eat, Crit and Survive, where a bunch of guys and our friend Laura gather in different locations, particularly in Laura's case, where she's just gone somewhere else entirely. And we gather to play Dungeons and Dragons.
I think by this point, Laura is one of the guys.
Oh yeah, by a long way. By a long way.
Yeah.
Do that.
Honorary guy.
Yeah, always. So, we won't tell Adam the actual nickname.
What, honorary guy?
Honorary dude.
It's fine.
Yeah.
More of a dude than him.
I mean, to be fair, you are.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yes, we have things happening in various locations. For example, Dom, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
And we'll stop that because we'll get to. Yes, Dom's birthday. I found out I got my master's today. So.
Oh,
Hey.
congratulations.
Happy Masters to you.
No. Now you must call me.
You're also pulling
Oh,
out
now it's
pretty central mutton chops right now, Luke. And
Yeah, I got bored with the facial hair, so I thought I'd just give it a bit of a change and went with the mutton chops for a little bit.
It actually looked quite good on you. Like, especially when you right? There's something, what do you call it? Like World War
Distinguished?
I. Yeah, distinguished.
I was thinking Wolverine. He just needs a
Oh,
little
yes,
space
very
on top.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is I had
He's
the
too
rest.
tall.
I had the rest of it. Well, I am A, too tall, and B, I had the rest of it cut off. I had a bit of a trim over the weekend. Well, no, Monday, in fact. So yeah, that's all went different. What was particularly interesting was I had a WhatsApp, voice message call my boss earlier on in the day, and then I got bored. Then I went and trimmed the beard, and then I came back and had another call. And she's like, "What have you done something to your beard in the last 3 hours?" Like, yes, I got bored.
Weren't you supposed to be working in that time, not trimming your beard?
No, because I'd been on since 7 o'clock that morning, so I thought, sorry, I'm going to take a break.
Is anyone watching the stream right now? You're probably not, are you?
I've no idea.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry.
Why is it not?
Why?
No, it is. Yeah, it's fine. You could watch it back on the YouTube. It's
VOD.
fine.
Are you doing shenanigans, Ross?
Yes. But it's stopped now. The shenanigans have stopped, so you won't be able to know until the YouTube comes
Ah,
If you've seen the shenanigans, you can tweet us at EatCritSurvive and tell us what they have done, what Ross has done, and why we are now kicking him in the face.
Give me power and I will abuse it.
Damn.
Ross 2020, give me power and I will abuse this.
I think I could get elected. So.
Some sort of minor government office.
yeah.
We have
Dog.
This is D&D, where we have now a third D, which is dog. Hi, Pooch.
Oh,
Hello, his name is Joey.
Hi,
hi Joey.
Hey,
We
Joey.
can't hear you.
We know.
So pass the message along.
Hi, Joey.
Thank you.
What? Ah, dear. Shall we get on with things?
Go on.
Where we last left off, the Wandering Stars with their new friend Leela with 3 E's, who spoke very, very fast, had been traveling through the astral plane, doing a favor for some Githyanki in order to get guidance towards the nearest visionary that happened to live on that plane. And also possibly catch up with Ulriel, who had been spreading the word of terrible things that were due to happen. You completed the mission for the Githyanki in destroying a bunch of mind flayers, finding that they had a blimp, and then leaving them behind to go and take on this visionary, an ancient void dragon, who went under the codename of Influence. After a short sail where you spent time figuring out exactly what your tactics were going to be and changing various items, you came up with a plan to fly in on the Silver Dragon. Ilmara, who has travelled with you. Unfortunately, something gave you away. It was quite low, a couple of low stealth rolls that did not help. And you were detected whilst Orion was giving over the message. He was dubbed to be a traitor and was immediately breathed on by the dragon, which in hindsight was a very bad mistake by me. But there you go. Because not only did Orion survive, I then didn't get the breath weapon for 2 rounds.
Oh no!
I know. But it's alright, the dragon got its revenge when it exploded and created a black hole, knocking everyone apart from Asher unconscious and dispatching Foundling and Leela to a different plane of existence. It also should have sent Cruz away, but when we rolled afterwards, it turned out it sent him back to the astral plane, so we just went, this'll do.
Yeah, because I suddenly asked, what was the stipulation for being teleported out? And Luke goes, failing 2 or more of the saves. I was like, I failed 2 or more of the saves.
Yeah. As it happens, I rolled the astral for him, so he just went, he's there. Blinked out and then reappeared 3 feet to the right.
Instead of 500 feet or 100 miles or whatever it was.
As Foundling and Leela found themselves, well, dead.
That's how I like to find myself.
I found myself dead.
Yep. Their spirits were drawn from their bodies, and you were met with the goddess Athena, who said that she was going to have a conversation with you. But before we get to that,
I'm not sure that's the appropriate reaction, Leela.
No longer in space.
no, in heaven now. That's the.
I can still squeak.
You can certainly squeeze.
So
With
before
3 E's.
before
That's
we
a
get
t-shirt, that is. In heaven, I can still squeak.
Laura, get on it. You've got an extra page.
Okay.
So before that, the rest of you, what are you doing? You have picked up this sack of that connects to the void where knowledge is gathered, which Asher currently has. You have the gem of the soul gem that is containing of the visionary. And off in the distance, you can see a boat slowly making its way towards you cautiously.
I'm keeping a special eye out for anything else that might be making its way this way.
Make a perception check.
I will ask the group, what are we doing with this? Holding the gem.
We should keep it somewhere safe.
29?
29. It's not enough to see anything. No. You look around. There is, the main thing that you notice is that the massive amount of asteroids that were around this particular area, they're gone. Somewhat obliterated, as is half of the turtle shell that you were fighting in. And there is not much else around at the moment, other than the boat pottering its way towards you very slowly and cautiously.
I guess we should just wait until the boat arrives.
Yeah, I mean, can we trust the gift to look after this orb?
No, I don't think so.
Can I make some kind of check to see if we could potentially trust the gift? Based on my limited interactions with them.
On this particular group of GIF, or on the GIF as a race?
Let's go with this particular group because they're the only ones.
Make an insight check at disadvantage because you're doing this based off of about 8 hours worth of interactions with them.
I don't want to say, can I make an insight check?
Could have been a
Disadvantage?
Yes.
Oh.
Is it a 1?
No.
Is that a 20?
No, one was a 15. The other one's a 4. So that's a 2.
Oh.
Okay. They are. You don't know enough about them to know whether or not they can be trusted with anything of great importance. Ross, were you asking a question?
no. I don't think so.
Is that coming from you, Laura? The chat?
Yeah, sorry, we're getting my other dog up. If you need me to mute, hold on, let me go. No, I can't close the dogs. The dogs need to go up. I'll pull it up. Hold on. Carry on.
I mean, you're dead. It doesn't matter. So yeah, the boat approaches.
We definitely can't take the gem with us to any other plane.
I just don't think it's wise to leave it with them.
So, where should we try and?
Is there anywhere in any of the debris surrounding us where we could secrete the?
Not for within a mile, but there is a good chunk of the tortoise shell that has been hollowed out at various points. You can see from particularly your high perception that there is small tunnels that seem to have gone through there. Various creatures have burrowed through at some point. You could also hide it in if you're going back towards the Titan's head, where the illithid were. You could potentially store it there.
Could store it on the illithid ship.
Well, aren't we going to try and take that
No,
as a
but
way
like,
out?
but like where it is, like where the ship comes up.
Yeah.
Question: in the astral plane, is it like space where, because there's no friction, an object would theoretically move forever if it was just lobbed in
I
a
did
direction?
think about just.
Oh, yeah, I can see where this is going.
Just yeet.
Yeah.
Right, that's that problem solved.
I'm sure,
Just give it
darling.
enough force and bite.
No, it isn't.
Damn.
There is a certain degree of resistance. Yeah, that will stop. That will eventually bring a thing to rest. There's just no gravity.
Don't you know the gravity of the situation?
No gravity at all.
No,
That's interesting.
because up, down, left, and right is relative here, which is why at various points the boat was able to make almost 90-degree turns vertically.
Oh yeah, I get that gravity was extremely low, but it's actually non-existent. That's interesting.
If you did let go of something, it would just stay exactly where it is.
Yeah, there's no gravity, but there's also no momentum. Essentially, there is still a thickness to the air, but it's not to a degree that will actually make a difference to weight or anything.
Maybe we should just hide it here.
I think we should possibly leave it where the boat is now, where the illithid were
Is
in the
there-
Titan's head.
Is there a chance that some people might go there, though?
Yeah, but they probably wouldn't be able to find out what it is.
I mean, it's better than it just reappearing somewhere we don't know.
The problem with it is that do we know, or did we at least speculate that these gems could be tracked?
No, I
Say
think
cracked.
Tracked.
Yeah, we can't.
I think we speculated that might be the case, but there was nothing kind of proven about it.
I think it was
I mean,
thrown
we
on the
know
ground.
that
One of them.
we know that with the right spell, anyone who's familiar with a particular object can track it.
Hmm.
That's just the nature of the spell, not the nature of the object.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone knows what they're looking for within a certain range, they will be able to find it.
You know what else might also work? This is a genuine Ross idea. If we find, let's say,
Genuinely my idea.
yeah, it's like let's just say we found a very large, dangerous creature, and say wrapped the crystal inside a giant meat wad and lodged it.
As soon as you said it's a very large creature, I knew where you were going. So
So did I.
I mean, you know, because then even if someone can figure out where it is, it's guarded.
What if we need to get it back, though?
Do we know of any very large creatures which might or might not live in the astral sea?
Well, there was that big dragon.
Other large creatures.
I would say make an Arcana check.
Given what what very nearly killed my last campaign's character,
Yes, make an Arcana check.
this won't go well.
I also have a question while some rolling's happening.
8.
8. Ooh, could be. There are big things everywhere. There could be big things here. Yes, Ross.
That's a ranger's answer.
Yeah.
It probably isn't how it works, but if a large creature were to eat it, it's not going to then take on the powers almost, is it like that?
You don't know.
Well,
Try
I
and eat
mean,
it.
I would like to ascertain somehow whether Cedric would be able to
Make an Arcana check.
come to that conclusion or not. Is it?
Ross,
Hmm.
do you reckon, Cedric, do you reckon if you cast reincarnate, you could pick what it came back as?
I believe reincarnate only works on humanoids. My camera goes a bit fuzzy. Still fuzzy.
Yes, you're still fuzzy. What check was that? Yeah, I need to make
Arcana.
Arcana. 10.
Maybe.
Maybe. That's what I want to hear. I can look up reincarnate really quick.
Humanoid or piece of dead humanoid.
Oh, bummer.
Does specifically, you unfortunately could not reincarnate him as.
Like a bunny or something.
I mean, if you had
Visionary
access to
taken.
true, if you had access to true polymorph, technically you could transform the object into a bunny.
How about block?
But then it would stay. If we try to leave, then it would. I don't know. Would it lose its magical properties? We don't know what would happen.
While the gem is obviously important, I think our priority ought to be finding out where Foundling and Leela went.
Yes.
And unfortunately, I think our best chance of finding that out is going back to the Hunters of Artemis.
Well, I think wherever they are, they're fine.
Just to say, with some of my amazing insightingness, not insighting, passive perceptioningness,
Sure.
were they killed and vaporized, or were they sucked into a portal?
Weren't you unconscious when it happened?
You were not unconscious as it was happening, so I would say you would not be aware of. Asher, on the other hand, what's your passive perception, Connor?
Connor's passive perception is about 3. That's why he's not responding to
It's muted.
Asher,
I believe he's talking to.
He's talking to someone else.
Talking to someone.
I will look up. I will look up what Asher's passive perception is.
Wave of Connor.
Everyone wave. He's like a dinosaur. He'll see the movement.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
What's your passive perception, Asher?
Ask Cedric that question, not me.
No, I'm asking you because you were the only one who was unconscious.
I
19.
asked the question. That's how we got here.
Yeah, 5 minutes ago we asked the question.
19. Sorry, my dad came in and was like, I've got some very important work to talk to you about. And I'm like,
Have you closed your jobs down?
Exactly, yeah.
Asher, when the explosion happened, you did see that the sort of blanket of space that took over pretty much everyone did seem to draw Leela and Foundling into it.
So
yeah. No, I knew that. Yeah.
I was checking that they were sucked into a portal. Clarification, and they weren't just vaporized, died, and then went to heaven.
No. It was described to me that they got pulled in.
Okay.
Like I say,
That's what's proofs, but
like I say, wherever they were, they're fine.
So they're not dead then.
Well,
Yeah.
it didn't look like they were.
Because if they were
conscious.
dead, this would be very easy. It's actually harder now that they're not dead.
They didn't look conscious when they fell through. There was very little struggle.
Okay, I mean, let's get moving.
I mean,
I have
the
no one-
hunters may be able to tell us at the very least whether they're alive or not.
That's true. We do need to ascertain that, really.
And worst comes to worst, I can just use divination. Yeah.
at this point, the boat has arrived with Lycus. Looks at all of you, looks somewhat bloodied and battered, and goes,
I've had the jump upon me.
"Make a sleight of hand check."
Okay.
Look for rogue things.
Rogue dice. Oh no! That's a 7.
So it's a
25.
okay.
Reliable talent's great, isn't it?
He's the
That
best
roll,
ability.
that roll sucks. Okay, so that's a level up. So
Yeah. So you sort of slide the gem into a position behind your back so that no one can see it.
kind of put it in some feathers or something.
Yeah, you tuck it in behind your wings so that it's quite well concealed. In fact, the only person that sees that you've done that is Cedric.
Yeah.
Lycus says, "Well, that went well.
It seems that's a kind of a matter of opinion.
I mean, there are less of you than there were when you first arrived, but
Most of us were unconscious when the explosion happened.
well, that's not a good thing. But you defeated the thing, so well done to you. I guess the question is, where to now?
I think we need to go back to the Titan's Head.
All right, that'll take us a better part of the day to get there.
Can we not get there any quicker?
It's about 8 hours. We can try and go faster. If the winds are behind us, then sure.
I look around. Winds.
Well, we've not had a storm since you've been here. Probably due for one. And if that happened, that's a bad thing.
I should say that can't be good.
Not great. Get caught in it, could get sent somewhere else.
Somewhere else on this plane, or
No.
Ooh.
Find yourself somewhere else entirely. I've had many people who have wandered in, gotten caught in the storm, and blown somewhere else.
Does they stand there and say that they think they're not in Kansas anymore?
Where's Kansas?
It's a place in a far off land.
I've not been there. Is it nice? I digress. We should probably get on. If you want to go and you're in a hurry, you should probably get going.
Okay.
I get on the boat.
You get on the boats and you set off heading what way? Are you wanting to do anything during this journey time, or Ross is reading his book, Lyra?
I am going to cast. No, I'm going to find a quiet spot on the boat where I can sit.
Yes. You are knee to knee with someone else, but yes. It's not a big boat, it's only a skiff.
I'm going to cast Protection from Evil and Good on myself.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take the golden blade out of the bag of chilling
Okay.
Ooh.
and prepare for a conversation.
Okay. It comes out of the bag. Okay. Cool. You draw the sword out and goes, thank you.
Don't mention it.
I would rather not go back in there.
We'll
Since you
see.
I sense you have the blood within you.
The blood, or
Thing.
Some blood.
It's where the blood's supposed to be.
Let me tell you some things, Sword.
Ooh, damn.
For most of my life, you were a thing my liege claimed was his. He took Golden Blade as his name. It was sort of the basis of how he claimed his rulership. And then after that, you were stolen, and you were a source of shame to me because I knew my brother had stolen you, and I didn't tell my liege, and that ate me.
Well, if it makes you feel better, the brother didn't steal me, he claimed me.
I hadn't finished. I'm talking about what you are to me.
My apologies.
For a long time, you were a burden. You were something I was seeking and couldn't find. You were something I was trying to get back, but could never claim. Then I saw you, and for a long time you actually ceased to matter at all. I didn't care. But then a few days ago, you killed a friend of mine. So, yes, that's what you are to me. Because the last time I saw you before I picked you up, you were being wielded by my brother, who I think decided to fight against my enemies and fight with us at the last and died for it. So yes, you tell me what you are and persuade me.
Of what? What answer are you looking for? What are you expecting to hear?
Well, not long ago we spent some time in the Plain of Fire. There's lots of fire there. And I'm sure somewhere I could find a fire hot enough to burn you out of existence.
Make an intimidation check. Advantage, because you've just gone from extreme cold to extreme heat.
Still only a 13.
Okay. The sword sort of shimmers for a moment. Well, I am Mithralis. I am the blade owned by your ancestor, Corfil.
Sorry?
Corfil.
I still didn't get that.
Really nice place in Greece.
Then passed to his son, Berian, claimed by Inrazil and held in Inrazil's family for a long time. But I should have been claimed by Sheva, the daughter of Berian, born in secrecy and out of wedlock, but still no individual. Sheva married your father's grandfather, I believe. Vanuath Yavolwa. I lay dormant because the man and the family of which you claim yourself to be in servitude to, or is your liege, was not worthy to wield me. He dreamt of nothing but increasing his own authority and using me as a status symbol. It is not what I am. I'm a weapon, yes, but I'm a weapon for enrichment. I do not bind myself to those who I do not believe are worthy of wielding me, even if they are part of the bloodline. When your brother came into possession of me, his intentions were pure. The protection of the Feywilds, home, making sure that civilization did not overwrite everything that was occurring in the Feywild. His only intent was to protect you, your sister, and to maybe find your mother. Find out what happened to her. No, hang on, am I mixing up your parents and the backstory? I think you're telling.
My father disappeared, my mother died.
That's it. Find out what happened to your father. My apologies, I forgot which backstory it was. Taliesin also had a terrible thing that happened with his mother, so, you know. I know.
Except this time I rolled on tables. It was completely random.
Yeah, it just so happened to be the case. Orion's intentions were for that of protection. He was using the cult to his own devices. He was using his unique capabilities to pass through the plains, gather information, and decide what to do with it from there. It may comfort you to know that in his last moments before he was wretched away from me, he was hoping and praying that he had redeemed himself in your eyes, and that you might forgive him. When he swung me at your friends, who I sense is over there. That's ironically, that's what your head did. It just sort of went. It was a moment of self-preservation. He felt that he would not live, and there was a panic. He did not want to leave you. Indeed, he had hoped all that time ago in the caves beneath the desert sands that you and he would be able to change the path, to set the balance, to make sure that everything remains. Does that satisfy you, Lira Yavolwa?
I believe you.
And yet,
Honestly, I always suspected that his intentions were right. When I spent time in the Feywild working with the cult, and at the time my intentions were pure, I think. I believe I acted for the best, though I know now I was very mistaken. One thing, while I was in the Feywilds, Velumas, the forest guard, told me that you were a legacy of the great god Pan. He hoped to claim you for himself, for his purposes in restoring Pan.
he would not be worthy enough to wield me. Pan did once use me as his own. But back then, I was not in the form that I am now. I was a sickle, a gift from Demeter. The gesture for the taming of the wild, or at least understanding when the wild is too much and needs to be contained so that all may live. A gift of balance.
Sorry, getting you confused with a different sickle.
Try to write one sickle no more. Give you inspiration for that. Negative inspiration, but
don't need any inspiration.
I will tell you this. I'm working against the cult now, trying to take it down because there is something wrong and evil at its heart. But if in so doing I can ease what is happening in the Feywild, slow that pollution, then it will all be for the better.
Do you need assistance with that?
Perhaps. Perhaps you could tell me what assistance you could be.
I am of your family. I was passed to your family. I am meant to be wielded by your family. Passed down from generation to generation. I am to serve. But I've heard many whispers for a long time. The fact that you are able to hear my voice means that I believe you to be worthy. I believe that your quest is the right one.
Then let's give this a try.
Okay, so do you begin to tune to it?
I will unattune from my armor, I think.
Okay, the dawn armor.
I haven't actually noted that this thing's in my inventory. Is it an item that exists?
It is. I have got it on there. I am just making some adjustments to it because there are things that will happen as you attune. As you spend some time sitting and attuning to the blade, the rest of you see this see Lyra sat with this blade across her knees. There are a number of runes which adorn the length of the blades. There are 6, I think. I think there's 6. Just double check something. I'm sure I have got that ability switched on. No, more than that. There are 7 on this blade. And as you sit and focus and concentrate, the blade gains a new rune. I would like you to roll a percentile dice, please.
I was waiting for the protection from good and evil to wear off.
I want to just
It only lasts
That's
10 minutes.
Yeah, so yeah, attunement happens, and then mid-attunement you just turn evil.
71.
71, okay. All right. Could you roll again, please?
You didn't roll the number that Luke wanted you to, so.
No?
83.
3, okay. On the minor properties, which is actually this way.
I thought more that it was like, okay, roll a D100. Now numbers 1 to 10 give these results. Anything above 10, you have to re-roll.
That would be a really dumb thing to do.
Okay. Finish the concentration and the focus. You begin to understand the properties of the blade. It is a +3 longsword, which ignores resistance to slashing damage. It has the properties of a vorpal weapon. So when you roll a critical hit or roll a 20 on the attack roll, cut off the head. You also gain proficiency in the Arcana skill. You gain resistance to fire damage. And you also gain the ability to cast Erupting Earth through the blade once using your spell save DC. Which if you roll 6, you regain the use of the blade. You also can cast Dispel Magic through the blade.
Can't teleport though.
Sorry?
can't teleport though. That
Would
would have been really useful.
have been useful, but unfortunately not. It was only a third level spell. So it is on D&D Beyond. I'm just going to change spell magic.
It's called Mithralis.
It's called Mithralis.
Is that with an I or a Y?
A Y. Mythralis.
Not called that because it's made of mithril, then.
Unfortunately not.
I think I need to refresh D&D Beyond.
Yeah, because I have been making some changes to it.
It's called that because it's made of myth.
Wait, so you're
Made of solid legend.
So,
I said it's made of solid legend.
indeed.
I was actually referencing the 90s video game, but sure.
So that can be added to your inventory now. What are the rest of you doing? As who were you sending that to? Asher. Asher, a voice appears in your head and says, I will
Play the best song in the world, or I'll eat your soul.
Okay, the voice says, how does the search go? Where are you currently?
You're muted.
You're muted, Connor.
You're muted.
One giant space dragon down, currently sailing through the astral sea.
Sounds like it's going well then.
Message comes.
Foundling and another companion are currently missing.
Expendable.
Thanks.
When you say they're missing,
Potentially dead and or teleported to a completely different plane of existence.
Sorry, Luke,
Yes.
is it not just called Golden Blade?
I mean, I did correct. We'll worry about it later. I'll do it in the break for you. So I've had to change my name. So it's fine. Sort it in a minute. Just because when you cast it someone on different planes, there's a 5% chance it doesn't get to them. Anyway, so yes, what were you saying?
where are you currently?
The Astral Sea. They said that.
They did say that. I thought I asked that question. Where are you going next?
Both very good questions. We haven't decided that yet. Do you have any suggestions?
No. Because I haven't thought about that bit.
Improv.
Where can you get to from where you currently are?
Literally anywhere. We are about to commandeer a illithid spaceship.
I'm not going to the person who has attuned himself to a dragon.
Attuned? Have a dragon attuned?
Bonded himself to a.
No, I want an attuned dragon, thank you.
Okay, I'll have to drop Shinescape.
No. Remind me where. I know where I am, but where am I?
Jungle of Rancor.
Yeah. Where in relation to anything useful?
So the cliffs are the Tasto Falls, which is where the Contrivance Union are based, right, or Ms. Tumal. Basically down the river about 4 or 5 days, sort of southeast-ish. Southeast east.
Not helpful.
No, a bit far away.
Yeah.
A bit far away from anything else. Even flying, it's going to take you a little while to get in.
I was thinking, just climb on them. try and get to them, but that could go spectacularly badly. Just
Just pop into a hole.
hello.
See what happens.
Where can I realistically get for them to?
You could probably get to the Contrivance Union if you've left now and flew for the rest of the day.
I will do that,
Okay.
and I will tell Asher that I'm heading for Tasso Falls.
Okay.
I will relay this information to the rest of the party.
Okay.
Who is this Galata?
Some arsehole who left before we got into a big fight.
Don't worry, we'll introduce you.
That sounds about right. Oh, I can see where this is going with Ross.
No, you don't just worry about Ross. Worry about me. Because remember, I did that to Lyra a lot when Lyra and Trick were both together.
And Asher and Anna.
Asher and Anna, yep. Okay. Is Skeletor going to do that as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want me to do that now, or do you want to wait for the?
We'll do it now, because as you send the message out, there was no response.
Oh.
Which roll an Arcana check, please.
Oh, okay. Wait, hang on.
Skeletor.
Yeah. I need to open his sheet. His sheet is open. I just need to look at it. No, not that one yet. That tab. Arcana, you said.
I do. Jack of all trades, you should be right.
Oh, I am. Unnatural 20.
Okay. It's not so much that there was no message back, it's that your original casting didn't find target. Which you know with this particular spell means they're dead.
Dead. Yeah, there's no.
Or contained in an anti-magic field.
Given that Asher has said that they're not there.
Yes.
So Markham's first loss. I would probably assume that.
So you mocked off like 6 of them for all the castings of Sentry.
I would probably assume that Foundling is dead.
Okay.
Rather than in an anti-magic field.
Mhm.
Because I fear that's kind of the more likely option.
Mhm. Well, are you going to pass that information along, or are you just going to get up and fly?
Can I do it while flying?
Yes.
I will use another spell slot to say that I have tried to contact Foundling, and I fear that he is currently dead.
Okay. That gets passed to you, Asher.
I keep that information to myself.
Okay. Is there anything else that is being done whilst on the 8-hour journey? Yes, Kafina.
Kafina's just going to chum up to probably whoever looks the most talkative, and basically just start querying them about, the local fauna. What's the largest, most dangerous creature? What is it like to eat? Largest, most dangerous carnivorous creature, and what preferably fast-flying smaller creature does it like to eat?
Okay, make an insight check first of all to see if you can discern which of the 4 gift is the most friendly.
Oh yeah, 19.
19, okay. You wander up to the female of the group. She seems to be the most open of the 4. And that is a very relative term. Like, these are soldiers. They are not necessarily ones for chit-chat. They're just talking. Make a persuasion check to see if you can gain information from them.
Oh, better. 25.
Okay. Sorry, just responding to the message. You get some of the information you get from them is that there are two major sizes of creatures that do seem to come across. Red dragons, which tend to ally themselves with the Gith as steeds more than anything else. And the most problematic of creatures is known as an astral dreadnought. They are rare to come across. They are aware of a nest of one. If you particularly wanted to go and do that.
The other bit of information I need is what does that astral dreadnought eat, assuming it's a carnivorous creature and there are tinier. Sorry?
Fucking everything is the response you get. Anything
then
once.
Then okay, so saying the crystal's about this big, I need a creature about this big with a decent flying speed. Say something that could get to that nest in less than 8 hours.
Again, a dragon. What is the things that you know of, or things that are around?
The things they know of. Like, okay, look, this will make it easier if I just explain the plan to you. I've got a suggestion.
I understand the plan. You want to feed it to a creature and then send it to the nest to get eaten.
Yes.
Yeah. The only creatures that are large enough that and sentient enough to be able to convince to eat a stone would probably be the dragons. And they're not likely to want to go on a suicide mission.
I don't need something with sentience. Turns out the suggestion spell doesn't have that minimum intelligence requirement, so I can literally suggest something to any creature. Oh, hang on. I think I do have to have it understand at least a single language, though. I'm not sure if that's a limitation.
Can hear and understand you.
Well, I mean, there's ways around that. Surely there's some sort of animal talk I can pull off and just find some astral dog and start barking.
They look at you, she looks at you and just and turns away. There's very much a conversation is over now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, got half the equation. I just need the bait as part of the equation, so we'll work on that.
Okay. Anything else, or shall we move off to find out what's happening elsewhere?
Sorry, just very quickly. This is classed as a short rest while this is happening?
Yeah, this is a short rest. This is definitely not a long rest. You have not been awake for that long.
That's fine. I just can then get some hit points back. That's all. I just wanted to clarify before we proceeded.
Oh, we're having a short rest.
Short rest during this 8-hour journey, so yes.
We're not leveling up yet, though, or did that already happen?
That's already happened.
That has already happened. Okay, so cool. I wasn't sure because you're saying no long rest, so I thought, oh no, we haven't leveled up.
No, if I told you you leveled up, you leveled up.
Cool.
Foundling and Leela.
Hello.
You're on the steps of Mount Olympus having a conversation with Athena. She says, "Come with me, we'll have tea," and starts to lead you away from the peak of Mount Olympus.
I follow obediently.
Yep.
And keep an eye on Leela to make sure she is following and not getting distracted.
Yeah, what? Can you do? Can you just like describe the scene for me a second? Because she needs shit to fangirl about. Like, come on.
There is a massive mountain that is leading, a massive alabaster staircase that is leading up to the giant ring of white columns that makes up pretty much this, the sort of traditional Greek mythology, where you can just about see the cusp of several thrones and a large hearth fire that is burning in the center, which you assume to be the chamber of the gods.
So we're like right at the top.
No, you're at the bottom. You're sort of most of the way down the stairs, but at the moment you're walking through gardens where there are numerous nature spirits, dryads, satyrs, and other various humanoids that are wandering around. They are talking, they are eating, they are singing. There are 9 women who are doing a very vigorous performing arts combination, which appears to be as a, it seems to be, it's like a sort of like a rap battle, but there's sort of like a violin that is going off against a tap dancer. And it's very obscure to watch. but it's interesting. It's very, very confusing, but it's interesting to watch. There are hundreds of different types of trees, cherry blossom and apple and olive, that all sorts of trees that don't have no right to be together, but are there for whatever reason, and it smells divine. You can see that people are drinking goblets of a clear golden liquid. But you are being led through an olive tree grove. You eventually find yourself in a clearing of a seemingly never-endless pair of bookcases stacked with scrolls stretching far off into the distance. As you're sort of looking around, you do see a cloud that is in the shape of a horse, just galloping away merrily through the air. And just a dude with a beard and salt and pepper hair, just with like wings on his hat, just flying through, which you start to go, Hermes? There is a small table that is set for 3 places with an array of cakes, desserts, and tea standing at the entrance of this corridor. Athena steps herself to one of the seats, which you can see are carved at the back to look like owls. Please, be seated.
Certainly. Sit down.
You sit. She then reaches small custard tarts, which she places upon her plate and daintily eats, studying each of the crumbs. The two of you just sit there, being watched, just slightly in awe and just awkward, not quite sure what to do. But she finishes her tart and then pours the tea, which is perfectly brewed for each of you, and it's sort of got a rich golden colour, which is intriguing. Please help yourselves to whatever you would like.
I'll take something that's not a custard tart, as that's apparently the one she's eating.
You managed to find a fondant fancy.
Okay.
And you just sort of pick off sort of distractedly and place down in front of you. So, you have come before me, those of you who are watched by my brothers and sisters. You have gone far from when I first sent you out into the world to find the wandering stars. I think it's fair to say, Foundling Flotsam, that you are currently dead.
What about me? Am I dead too? Am I dead? What is this? Can I have one of these? Thanks, cool. But yeah, am I dead? Like, we weren't here before. There was a giant, there was a dragon, and like.
Can I
kind
make
of,
some
like,
kind
now
of
there's, like,
grapple
clouds,
check
and
to
there's
put a
guys with,
hand
like,
over
a
Leela's
violin,
mouth?
and like,
Make
then
an
I
athletic
tap dancing to the violin, and like, there's loads of people around, and like, there's like a flying horse. Like, come on, what am I doing here? Can I have one of these? Thanks, cool. Thanks.
Was it a 1?
Foundling goes to try and put his hand over your mouth to stop you, but
Oh, actually, no, wait, can I have one of these, please? Thanks.
as you reach
My
over,
dogs are just looking at me like, what are you doing, woman?
as you reach out and you go to grab one of the things, it almost knocks the whole thing over. And Foundling, you're distracted. You sort of see this and just stabilize it to make sure that you don't. He looks at you curiously and goes, "Yes, you are dead as well.
Okay, thanks.
Although, curiously, your bodies appeared on Olympus as you were dying, so I was able to intervene before Hermes," she looks up into the sky, "led you down into Hades."
Thanks. I don't want to go to Hades. No, thank you.
I don't know. You would be given a hero's welcome, certainly. But, nevertheless, you know what I am the patron of, Foundling. A city long lost, civilization, the olive tree, wisdom, crafts, and war. And believe me, we will shortly be at war. This cult that you have set yourself upon will be bringing forth their visionaries into the material plane, at major points where we gods hold in high regard. He waves a hand, and out of the corridor, a map flies forth and unravels itself.
Wow, how did you do that? You got to teach me how to do that one day. I can do this, but I've got a mechanical hand. He can only go so far. Like, it's about 30 feet or so, but you can only grab it. How do you make him do that? Like, you've got to tell me that.
As you're sort of saying this, the cake floats up off the table and just crams itself into your mouth.
So really pickish. Like, this is like one of my favorite cakes. Like, not my favorite. Like, my favorite is more like chocolate, but this is all good. This is kind of like, but it goes really nice well with tea. Do you know what else goes well? Like, really nice orange juice. It's like great. Like, okay, cool. I'll just eat some here. But yeah, you carry on. Cool. Scrolls.
If we're doing this by lines as the titles, it would just be cool scrolls. Just be
Rolls. No. Yeah. Carry on.
Howling, you sense a slight glowering that is developing in Athena. Controls. She looks at the map. They seem to be focusing their forces on these locations. She touches 6 points on the map. Sorisa, Nexus, Abelos, Tumal, South Peak, Gaia's Desire. And then the map begins to float up into the air. And she moves her hand above and below in the center. And Maymore, where they will target from above and below. And as she's sort of doing this, you can see the topography of the map suddenly come to life, like a small illusion over the top of it. And you can see the hollowed out volcano that Maymore is built upon, which you've not... Actually, no, you wouldn't know this because you've not spent much time researching the area. But you can see sort of in very minute detail the huge properties that are built on top of Maymore as part of the structure, and then the lower ring, which is essentially mining and farming and the peasantry that lives below, and then the farming community, which is around at the base of the mountain. As she lets her hand come away, each of the symbols that have been left upon there have been separated into different colors. There's a deep blue going to Sorisa, a green to Nexus, purple to Abelos, red over Ms. Tumal, sky blue towards Gaia's Desire, brown over South Peak, jet black below Maymore, and a galaxy swirl above. Once they destroy the places of importance to my siblings, uncle, and father, those of prayer will not be as strong to defend the cities. There's nothing that can be done to stop this. At most, you have delayed the incidence of it occurring by a few hours, as they account for those that have been defeated. But once they finalize their rituals, many will perish. You cannot save them. What you can do is prevent them from eliminating all life upon the material plane. For if they accomplish that, we gods will fade away as those who believe in us will fade too. We will be replaced, of course, as all living creatures will feel an incredible pull to believe in something far more than themselves. But I am one of the first that will fade away as civilization ceases to exist. For what I understand of the plans is that the 8 souls of all visionaries must be upon the material plane, and they will establish them their own rifts across their respective areas. Though there is more knowledge to be gained, your best chance is to defeat each of the visionaries upon this plane. Once you do so, the magic that held them in place will invigorate them, and they will come back stronger. Those who have already fallen will feel an increase in power upon this material plane. In order for us, the gods, to survive, we must provide you with our blessing. You have found some of the fragments of Titanomachy. My sister, Artemis, has blessed one of your lots. And now I must do the same. She reaches forward, and her hand, the stricken shade, which is tucked into your belt, floats up slightly, and she rests her hand upon both of Tonfa.
I'm slightly confused that I'm a ghost, but I still have these.
Weird. You don't quite understand it, but they're there.
Yeah.
But as you watch, and her hand placed upon it, she watches some of the grain of the dark black wood flickers and transforms into an Athenian blue, similar to a quartz-like material that swirls around, following the exact grain. May these guide your strikes against your foes. Tomfa become exalted. They are now a +3 weapon,
Okay.
and you gain immunity to the frightened.
Sorry, didn't catch that. There's some
You
background
gain
noise.
immunity to the frightened condition,
Okay.
and in addition to the benefit that is already on the weapon, when you use your key to activate an ability in which a creature must make a saving throw, you can spend 1 or more additional key points to increase your DC by 1 for each key point spent to a maximum of 3.
Can Leela poke the map? Can I just be poking this, whatever it is? She's just
Yeah.
poking it. And
Poke
like, fascinated. You crack on with that. She's
Okay.
really poking the map.
In addition, I believe you may benefit from some additional training. You waved another hand, and there's a pair of scroll cases which fly into your lap. This one, she says, waving her hand over a blue-coated scroll case with the imprint of an owl, will impart further wisdom to you, although I gather you have already gained much during your adventures. And this, she says to another one, which is blackened with a palm across the seal. If you study this for a day and a night, you will gain the forms in which to draw insights into your opponents. Essentially, if you read that one for 24 hours, or spend 24 hours over a number of days, you will gain an alternative to your flurry of blow options. So as your open hand abilities. You can instead make your target make a wisdom saving throw against your key DC, and you can gain one of the following bits of information from them on failure. Armor class, 1 ability score modifier, 1 ability saving throw modifier, 1 immunity, 1 vulnerability, or their ability save DC. I will send this to you
Yeah.
later.
No, it's okay. I know my choice already. Wisdom is what I seek. I will choose the scroll of wisdom.
I'm not giving you a choice of either or. This is both.
That is most generous. I hope my companions restore me to life to make use of this.
Yes, it will be interesting if they do revive you from a distance, because your things will still be here. You may have to return to collect them. Tell me, rapid speaking gnome.
She's just still there, like, poking the map.
The map floats down onto the table.
Cool. Scrolls. Yes, hi. How can I help you? This map's pretty cool. Like, how can I help you? You guys seem to be really deep in conversation. I didn't want to bother you, but this map looked too cool not to poke. So I'm really sorry. I just had to poke your map. It's fascinating. You've got to tell me how that works. Like, cool. Hi.
It works by my desire for things to come into existence. And I have certain abilities here in which I can show you what I wish. And I can grant.
Damn. You got to teach me how to do that one day. It sounds so cool. Like, I could really do with that down, back on, down there. That'd be great. Cool. Really helpful. Yeah.
If that is what you wish, we can provide you with such abilities, albeit at a lesser extent whilst you learn to control them.
Can I make maps float? That's all I want, really. Just can I just make maps float? That's cool. That's all I need. Or can I do other things? Can I make other things float? Yeah. I just want to float things. Thanks.
If you so wish. So she will grant you the magic initiate feat.
Hmm?
The magic initiate feat. Which will give you the mage hand cantrip.
Oh, hold on.
I've got these right. Another cantrip of your choosing. And the Tensor's floating disc spell. Because
Sorry?
Tensor's floating disc.
I forgot about that spell.
I almost confused it.
You did, almost.
It's on the wizard spell list, so have a look. Use your intelligence modifier.
For transporting loot.
Yes. Good stuff, Carrie. So yeah. If there are any questions that you wish to ask me, now is the time to do so.
I mean, I've got a ton of questions, but like, I could probably wait. Like, I feel like this is a lot more important meeting for other things. But like, girl, we gotta meet up another day. Like, we gotta go through all this stuff. Like, this is awesome. But like, cheers for the presents. Like, at least I can make things float now. This is awesome. But yeah, cool, awesome. I've got another hand to go with my other meta hand. This would be great. Like, this is awesome. Family, what did she give you? That sword, mate, looked real cool. I was kind of just focused on the map, but like, yeah, let me know.
Make a persuasion check, Laura.
Great.
Did you just go with a you, a god?
Girl. Girl.
We're gonna hang out sometime, girl.
9.
9. She looks at you curiously. You know, I very rarely get to have a girls' day.
Oh my god, girl! I'll show you a great girls' night. Me and my friends back home, we like do the best girl nights. There'll be like fluffy pillows, and we could get that guy with the violin just to like play us like great music. Like, I'll show you best time out. You gotta come down sometime. We can make things float together. Like so many maps downstairs.
Look at you,
Like,
found
so
me with
many.
the kill me. Look.
I'm still a believer in Athena, but I'm now slightly questioning her wisdom in actually bringing along.
Insight check, Foundling.
Oh, it's not a 1. That's a 13 on insight.
Okay. She is just saying, she is yes-anding. She has absolutely no intention on following this up.
Wow, her.
Your wisdom, yeah, okay, but yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea. It's your charisma that's terrible, and your strength and your dexterity.
As I have the opportunity, the obvious thing is to ask your counsel. Judging from the map, Namor would be attacked both from above and below, and likely faces the greatest threat. If I am able to return, would that be the place you would recommend me to defend? To take the Wandering Stars?
To be honest, that area is the most heavily fortified because it is the cap. They have the GIF soldiers available. The Legionnaires are available there. I should clarify the Legionnaires of the company rather than the Legionnaires that you know of the Legion of Storms. But they have the best arcane and divine defenses. So they would probably be best, they would be safest from the astral invasion as well as the attack from the abyss. No, devils, sorry. The attack from the devils, from the hells.
Then where could we be of most service?
Well, some of the clerics have read the signs and have begun to evacuate, but they have no real places to retreat to, so they're preparing for the worst. Abelos has the highest proportion of warriors in the town. Per capita, they have been preparing to fight demons their entire lives. Maymore, South Peak, and Nexus are currently unaware, but Maymore has got the best defenses, so they would be most likely to react in a crisis. Miztumal, it's unclear whether they have been guided by my brother, but they are used to emergency reactions to fire. If there's anywhere that people are escaping to, it's likely to be boats, so they get onto the sea, to the Grove, the Great Expanse, into Triome, Channel Point, Everflow, or perhaps even the mine of South Peak. Ultimately, it will not make too much of a difference once the invasion starts. The best bet is to wait for the initial chaos to settle down and try and overcome it afterwards.
You have not mentioned Solvisa or Gaia's Desire as having many defences. Does that mean they are likely to be in greater need?
Guy's Desire is protected as the home of my sister's followers, the Hunters of the Orionids. They are fairly well defended, being on the mountain, and I believe that Orion of the Mountains is aware of what's going on. Artemis has shared counsel with them. I think that Sorisa, being dedicated to my brother, as we lose the gnome, is probably one of the most aware. They have already begun evacuating the majority of their townsfolks. Advantages of following the prophecy goal, I suppose.
That may be the best place for us to go then, if they are evacuating and abandoning rather than staying to fight. I don't know, it is a city. I would feel comfortable defending it.
If you, my counsel would be that war is about tactics, and if a city is going to be overrun, it may be easier to defend. But if you are overrun yourselves, what good are you to anyone? Sometimes falling back, observing what has happened, allies, building a resistance. That is the best way of fighting forward. But of course, I leave the decision to you. Do what you must, Foundling Flotsam, Leela of the many names, to guide your friends. Save the gods.
That is an awesome responsibility, but I shall do my best.
There are plenty who are in a good position to assist you. Leave on the plane of Fiaros. There are two of the leaders of the Drasmak there. You could perhaps seek them out as allies. Retreat with assistance, the other side of Channel Point, as Laura appears to have lost all internet connection. No, she's back. There are multitudes of things you can do. You have allies. You have gathered renown across the world. And we are not the only gods.
My only concern about retreating and building the resistance is the time it would take. Do you have any guidance how long we would have before the cult are able to succeed in their plan and destroy the life?
By my recommendations, you would have at most 3 months. At worst, 1.
We must balance caution with speed then.
Right.
Now I simply have to await Cedric and hope he has the wisdom to realize we need to be restored. I know he serves a different goddess, but he has wisdom of his own.
In that instance, I shall leave you to it. There are matters which I must also attend to. Bury my father for such an eventuality. Feel free to remain here. I will make sure that your bodies are not looted. Dionysus's party individuals may be drawing upon your faces as we speak. We shall dissuade them.
Thank you.
The cake. Thanks for the other gifts as well. Again, you got to show me how that map works. But yeah, we'll have a girls' night soon. Like, love the cake. Dude with the violin. I look forward to it, girl. See you later.
I look forward to it as well. As she just walks away.
I bow as Lily goes, bye.
Sort of, feel free to research in the library if you so wish. And walks off.
Scrolls for days.
So we will return to folks on the boat when we come back from the break, because we are at 8:45, so we might take a moment to. I know, time flies. Take a moment for things to sort out, like Laura sorting out her internet.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't live here. I don't live here anymore.
It's really not.
Yeah, it's not your problem. You don't live here anymore. So yes, we will come back in 15 minutes at 9 o'clock, and we shall pick it up from then. See you in a moment. We are back. So, Foundling sat reading his, their toes.
Actually, no.
Oh.
As we currently have access to this big library of scrolls,
Yes.
I'm going to see if I can find any more information on the things that are going to come through.
Okay.
Maybe find some vulnerabilities. Maybe.
All right. Make an investigation check.
Ooh. Hang on. I think I have a better modifier in that than I think I do.
Proficiency bonus going up at level 13.
Yeah. Plus, I get proficiency in it off my hidden depths. That's the one.
Yes. Proficiency or expertise of the hidden depths. Not be exalted against expertise.
It says proficiency.
Okay.
So I get a +5 and a +1 for +6, which gives me a grand total of 12.
12. Okay. You start looking around and trying to find the various denizens, trying to find general information about different planar entities. You know which planes are going to come through, the astral, the fire, earth, air, water. You don't find much in terms of the ways of weaknesses, other than some knowledge about earth and fire elementals being weak against thunder damage and water, respectively. Which you kind of think, not surprising. Fire doesn't like water, and earth doesn't like being blown up. There are a multitude of different creatures that are available to come from any of the planes, so it very much depends on what forces have been gathered. There are obviously all different types of elementals. There are the elder elementals, which could have been coerced into joining in the fight. There are various denizens that live on the individual planes. Red and gold dragons fly around on the fire plane. Black dragons do find themselves underwater, swimming through the sea at various points. So it is all very much a case of there are a lot of things out there. There's a lot of things you can research.
Yeah. Okay. I learned something.
Do you have that conversation with Hermes whilst you're looking around, or do you try to speak to Hermes?
Oh no.
No? Okay.
No, Foundling is still kind of shit. I'm on Olympus. Shit.
I feel like Leela would probably have a conversation with Hermes.
I think Leela's going to be trying to make all the scrolls in the library float.
Yeah.
Would it technically be a conversation if only one person's doing the talking?
I mean, technically, the other person would be nodding and going, "Here, talk to my snakes on my stick."
Hey, snakes!
What is Leela doing during this time?
Yeah, she's probably just looking at Scott. I don't know. don't know what she'd be looking for. Probably kind of nude. I don't know. If it's all magical up here, then she's not going to know
Did you just say
too
nude?
much. I just, no,
Excuse me.
No.
Lots of nude people here on the line.
no. Yeah, that might be why she said it.
Looking at nudes.
Let me get my tape measure.
Tape measure. Yeah, she'll just be looking kind of through scrolls as well. She probably picks up a little bit of what those two were talking about, but she doesn't understand quite fully what's going on. So
You probably during your time you might find scrolls about Hephaestus.
sorry.
You probably find some scrolls about Hephaestus or Hephaestus, depending on the individual pronunciations. There are both legitimate ways of saying it.
Or
Okay.
pronounced it hepatitis.
Yeah. Or as the Romans say, Vulcan. No.
Peace and long life, Maps.
There are various, there's scrolls about him. There's some, mythology about him being born and thrown off the mountain by Hera, and then riding back up on a donkey with a throne that he then used to trap her. What?
Ooh.
It's just an interesting story.
It's a whole thing.
With donkey and the throne.
I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
And then just there's some interesting bits and pieces that you pick up for potential ideas for going forward about some gadgets you may want to try and invent at some point.
Sounds good.
The rest of the party, what are you doing?
Same.
Where are we at this point? Are we still amongst our 8-hour journeying, or are we on the other end of our?
Well, I would say depending on what you guys want to do. If you want to do something during that 8-hour journey, you can. Otherwise, we can skip to the head, Titan's head. Whilst I do a quick couple of checks.
I can't think of anything.
Asher. Asher.
Turn the sound on.
You're muted, Connor.
You muted.
Yes.
I know you have no fond memories of this sword.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It is amazing, and I honestly think it is partially the reason why we're all really together. I mean, going after this sword was one of our first things we did, really, as a group.
Yes. I think it could possibly help us a great deal, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable if I use it.
A sword is a sword. It's the person that wields it that makes it worthwhile.
Swords don't kill people, people kill people.
Well, exactly, yeah. I haven't met a sword that could swing itself.
I think we might have done.
Don't think I have.
Everyone's just thinking back like, shit, did we? God.
I don't think I have.
Have we found any animated armor?
Not in this campaign, I don't think.
Okay. They're all merged into one at this point.
Yeah.
Well, all two.
But no, I have no hard feeling for the sword. If anything, right at the end, even its old wielder came right in the end.
I truly think he did. And I will use it now, at least partially, in his memory. I also don't want you to think I'm not grateful for the amazing sword you gave me. Do you want it back now?
Oh no, I've still got Old Faithful, and
Your entire cash.
yeah, no, I've still got Shatterfang, and that is my sword and forever will be.
I tell you this: if I keep if I keep this sword, hold up the biting blade longsword,
Mhm.
then it will become an heirloom of my family, if I ever manage to have one.
I'm sure one day you'll find a young elf with let's be honest, Gerenalis was he was a good match. I liked him. I've still not given up hope on that.
So did
I still
I.
ship it. Ship it.
I like him a great deal.
Although he's not going to be awfully fond of the golden sword here. It kind of makes Cinder draw a little bit not quite as good there, is it?
He has his own moonblade. Cinderdraw was another heirloom of his family, but not his own sort of weapon.
Oh well, you know. Now we have two moonblades on our side. We couldn't possibly lose. Tell me, can you still lop someone's head off with one go with that?
If I am extraordinarily lucky, yes.
Oh, well, I hope you never have to swing it at me.
So do I. If I do, something has gone very badly wrong.
Oh, somewhere along the line, worse things have happened. Kalatar is looking for us, by the way.
That could be useful. Did he say anything about what he's been doing? If he's feeling any better?
No, he didn't really say anything about what he'd been doing. He was more wondering about where we were going. He also mentioned that he couldn't find Foundling.
Through magical means.
Exactly.
Do you think we ought to ask Cedric to restore them now?
Well, there's no point in waiting. They may have some insight on where we need to go next.
I mean, it's possible. Here's hoping.
Cedric!
Hello, I was listening the entire time.
Yes, you always are.
Small boat. Small boat.
I think it's time we revived our friends, don't you think?
I can certainly try. No one? No, I think they'll not for the certainly try.
Yep. One of the best phrases to use in D&D.
Yeah.
So, what you doing?
I am going to attempt to cast this out of Genesis.
Okay. For Foundling, yes?
Yes, sorry, Alila, nothing personal, but
Fine.
you're not quite part. Well, I mean, Foundling's not necessarily hugely part of the family either at this point. He's still quite early days, I think. But in fact, that's a good question. How long's Foundling because obviously in real time it's been several months, but in game time I feel like it's probably only been like 3 weeks, but I could be wrong.
In game, Foundling met you before the attack in Gorvik.
Yeah, I met up with you on the Ark.
Maybe
Just
that was-
travelling.
Yeah, it was about a week before the attack in York.
Yeah, even travel time maybe did that then.
Then about maybe 6 weeks after that, before you came back and were starting to do things here, you went through Belgabad, then taken a week. So you've been with you about 2 months.
Okay, I mean it's still relatively short amount of time, but you know.
I'm still in my probationary period. You might let me go if I don't.
Yeah. But everyone always gets revived in order of how long they've been part of the group.
Seniority.
Yeah.
So, just for future reference, does Kalatar not have his sort of leave of dragon boning absence counts
That
towards
gets-
his service.
That gets deducted off the surface of the service. Yes.
What about Lyra's time with the cult?
Ooh, that's a good point because there was a
Because
lot of this
Does that
extra.
make- Because that's also a little bit wibbly wobbly. Because it was 2 years to her. It was about 2 months.
Yeah, it's best not to think about it at this point and just trust the system.
No, Ross. We want a spreadsheet.
I need to start doing that. Keep track of when people are in and out. Anyway,
Gantt chart.
I'm going to cast it from Genesis, which lets me bring back the person as
If you succeed on a wisdom check.
yes.
So, make a wisdom check, Christopher. Thank you at the third.
I'm going to use my special. Hold on, I need to get the get the expensive dice out for this one.
Well, they're not mine, so hopefully you won't roll a 1.
I mean, it's a wisdom. It's just a wisdom check, yeah. Is this wisdom? Is it a
It was-
saving throw? It's just a wisdom check. It's just a wisdom check. Okay, it's a +5. So
Is this something you can add a D10 to?
I mean, yeah,
Ability check, but he has used his D10 this day.
I did to say make a saving
Saving
throw.
throw.
Otherwise, I probably would have been dead as well. I will guidance myself before I do this, though.
You can't.
It's okay because I rolled. Oh, I can't really put the camera. I rolled it. Yeah, you guys can totally read it from there, right? You can definitely see what that.
Yeah, I can see a keyboard that says
It's
1.
a 19. It's a 19.
Okay.
It tilted onto the 1 and then went on to the 19. Thank God. That's a 24, and I need to beat I believe 17.
What form are you bringing Foundling back in?
I am bringing right. Fight all urges as Ross. Fight the urges.
Make a Furbolg only party. Oh God.
I mean,
Uh,
I want to restore Foundling as he was, so a Simic hybrid, but I don't really know if that's necessarily what he is called. They are called.
It is what they are. That's grammatically wrong, but it is technically correct.
Yeah.
That is what they are. So you cast the spell and you lay Shatter Genesis on the ground and you draw the axe blade back up, leaving behind a small rift. Foundling, you're busy reading a scroll, and Leela, you saw as suddenly Foundling pops out of existence,
Foundling!
leaving you alone in the library with tea
More
and
scrolls for me!
Please say that there's someone walks past us, leaders going, Foundling? Foundling, that someone goes, shh.
Uh,
Foundling!
Foundling's body reforms completely nude on the deck of the boat.
and you can see it is like a Ken doll.
Yep, whoa, okay.
There you go. That was not as.
Cedric,
Hello. How are you feeling?
how am I feeling, Mr. DM?
You are feeling not dead.
Yes.
It's fine. Reform is one of the only ones that does not.
Doesn't have it. Yeah, it's a brand new body, so you
Brand
don't
new
feel
body,
any
you are-
worse.
You're fully refreshed. You are alive. You are on. I'm going to say you're on 1 hit point. Because it doesn't specify otherwise, but I will say that you are on. Actually, no, it's a fully new body. So yeah, you're probably on full hit.
Yeah, I think it literally is.
You are on 4 hit points, but you just don't have any things.
I
Like Laura's doing what Leela would be doing, just eating a cucumber sandwich, just reading, like flipping various things.
feel a lot better. I was fighting the dragon and was quite badly hurt, and there was a big explosion, and then me and Leela died, and we were on Olympus. And where's
You were
Leela?
together?
Yeah, where's Leela?
Leela will still be there. I haven't had a chance to bring her
Oh
back
dear.
yet. Why is that a problem?
She may be annoying the gods.
That shocks me.
Are you able to do that again, Cedric?
Yes, in 7 days' time.
Is there anything you can do sooner?
I could do it again, but I wouldn't be able to control the form that she comes back in.
Does anyone have any other ideas?
I don't use magic, so
No.
no.
Did Kelatar have something he could do?
He can raise dead.
But there's no. We don't have a body. Is the problem?
You have
We do have a
body
bit of hair.
parts.
We have a hair. We got hair from everyone. Is
The
that enough?
bod-
Okay. So I guess we could just gamble. Are you feeling lucky?
No,
As I've
no. Monk. He's a monk.
I know what you're thinking. Did I use 6 charges at the magic item or only 5?
To be honest, in all that confusion, I'm just lost track.
Let me just check my sheet.
Anyway,
Well, let's put that to one side for a moment. While there, we met with Athena, who favoured us with a consultation and some guidance, and some enhancements and possessions, but they didn't come back with me. Yeah.
Those are still there.
On Olympus, I would presume. But I do have the guidance she gave me.
I suppose that is useful. However,
Yes. She has warned me that those who break through the visionaries are going to be more powerful on the material plane than they were before.
well, it's a good job that we got rid of some of them then.
We haven't got rid of them for good. They will apparently return. At best, we have delayed them.
I didn't want you to say that because
The gods do want us to act against the cult to try to save all life and the gods themselves. But they fear the initial invasion may be too strong for us to face. Athena's counsel was to withdraw, gather allies, and build a resistance to strike back, rather than going down in a glorious last stand that would ultimately result in failure.
Did she seem to suggest that the invasion was going to be focused on Fioros?
No, it
Yeah.
will.
no, yes.
Oh
those-
well,
all cities on Fioros.
yeah. Well, on specific locations, not just the whole continent.
But it is.
So, Solrisa, Nexus, Abelos, Miztumal, South Peak, Gaia's Desire, and Namor.
Tom reaches for the map.
Make
You're
it float.
talking about this place called Mistumal, and I can't find
Mistumal,
it anymore.
the Mistumal is the correct name for the place where the Contrivance Union sits.
Oh, right.
Under Tasto, but because the area itself is a secret, it's known that area is just Tasto Falls or Tasto Cliffs.
Oh.
Hmm.
Our best suggestion for finding allies would be to locate the two Dresspack leaders.
Did she say where they were?
The other side of, was it Channel Point?
The other side of Channel, they're flying around various points. Channel Point was one of the suggestions. So Channel Point is one of the two twinned areas that connects. It's basically a large ferry terminal that connects from Channel Point on Fioros and on Hellas Gracia.
So someone on Hellas Gracia, maybe, was kind of what she was guessing at.
No, that's what she was suggesting. That's one area that you could retreat to.
Yeah.
Was the far side there, because that's where a lot of people will be a lot of civilians and refugees will be retreating to get on boats and escape. So they may be there aiding that effort.
Yeah.
But
no, she didn't say exactly where to find them.
But again, on Fioros somewhere. Did she seem to imply?
Yes.
I wonder if there's someone we know who might be able to help us with that. Someone who's acquainted with dragons. I don't know.
We should be able to gain allies. Apparently, our efforts have not gone unnoticed, and we have gained some renown for what we have done.
Asher, you have met one of the leaders of the Drasmack.
Have I?
Yep.
Have I?
When you
yeah, I met Juniper.
Yep. When you hung around to deliver the young void dragon or the baby void dragon Marlene to the hunters, you hung around for that, and Juniper came to collect the dragon.
Tis very true.
I'm going to be really impressed if you somehow planned that.
What, for that connection to come up?
But yeah, you'd introduce Juniper all that while back, and then get Laura to come back.
It was our plan all along.
Yeah, that's my fault, guys. I caused all this. Don't cough, Laura. Give it away.
Sorry.
So we try and find these Drasmark, and then I don't know. Do we turn to Jorvik? We have friends there.
We have friends there, and we have, I suppose, with them reviving people, Gaeon is a potential threat again there.
Potentially, yes. She did say that, as far as she was aware, Nexus, Southpeak, and Namor were unaware of the threat. We should maybe try to alert them and ask them to prepare to stage a retreat.
Can you make an intelligence check for me, please, Foundling? Lena, you can make one as well.
3.
Okay.
Natural 20.
Fuck you, Laura.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, from your poking of the map and sort of your intense study upon it, you have worked out what the colours assigned to each place were and who is going where.
Cool.
Which you can pipe up and interject if you so choose.
Hang on, she hasn't been resurrected yet.
I'm
Resurrected.
still not here.
I will. In which case, I will use that as information that you have.
And
That
I'm mentioning that. I warm up my hands.
Yeah.
And I will cast reincarnate.
Okay. I'm going to need you to mark off 1,000 gold because there are material components that are specific to the spell, but because you were sort of prepared for this leveling up at some point and gaining that knowledge, we'll say you gathered 3 uses worth beforehand. So mark off 3 grand and then.
Yes.
Let's be honest, with this party, money doesn't matter.
No.
Next campaign, when you're poor as fuck, we're going to struggle.
Find another line.
Okay. I will mark off a yes, done that. And also, I will mark off a spell slot, my 5th level.
Okay.
Have you cast Sleep on Connor?
Yes. He's praying.
Darkness on Connor. So,
Yeah.
you take an hour to cast the spell, Cedric.
Yeah.
I would like you to roll a d30.
A D30?
Yep.
Oh, damn.
How do I roll a D30 exactly?
D20 and a D10.
Google it. There you go.
Wait, what? How would that work? Because if I rolled a...
You roll a d6 for the first digit and then a d10 for the second digit.
Doesn't work that way either. You basically want it. Anyway, it doesn't matter because there's only up to 30. There's basically 30 different races that you can choose from here. So, actually, technically, there's 32, but I've discounted 2.
Shall I...
Oh, come on.
Get up a random number generator.
Yeah, shall I Google 1D30?
Yeah, that's what I've done.
1D30. I'll throw it onto the Twitch screen as well. So,
So they can see what we can't.
yeah, we can see. Okay.
But it doesn't help him to cheat because he doesn't know what my numbers are associated with.
But there you go. I'll So here we go. Here we go. 1D. Roll a D30. Yes, rolled. Okay, I rolled a D30 1 times and I got the number 11.
11.
Oh, look at that smile.
Leela.
I'm channeling really hard. Tiny person. I'm thinking tiny person.
Leela, you in the library, reading your various scrolls, practicing your little magic that you have picked up. As a person, a very handsome man, dressed in a chiton, just sort of covering him, plenty of abs, nice musculature, wanders over and says, "Ciao, Bella."
Wow, one of those Italian
Hi.
nods.
Interesting to see you here.
Glad to be here.
How may I? And that's when you blink out. You, Cedric, are concentrating. You're thinking small.
Yes.
Stay small. Stay small.
Oh no.
You concentrate. You focus. Bring back Leela. Bring back her essence. And you see the body start to reform.
Yep.
With that greenish energy that comes out of your general casting of spells. The body starts to reform. The hands, the leg, the torso,
The leg.
the other leg.
One leg.
The other leg. The hair. You sort of think, oh, okay, it's still small. Got this. Only the green doesn't fade. As the goblin form.
Oh, God.
Started with the right letter.
Yep.
Oh, I got so close. This genuinely does sound like Cedric trying his best, but just not quite hitting the mark.
That honestly does sound like is gnome 10.
No,
Is it
these-
alphabetical?
I did have it alphabetical, yes. So it
Oh.
wasn't.
So near.
Although I think I've probably missed off a couple on my list I've probably forgotten about at some point along the line. But Leela is now a goblin. Also completely naked.
Naturally.
Yes, natural.
A verse once case.
Yep.
I'm sure I've got like a
18 gentle.
clothes
Yeah.
of some sort to throw.
Yeah, you've got something that you sort of throw over Leela.
Hold on. I need to see what I look like. Hold on.
Oh, D&D goblins are...
Oh, they're yeah.
Great.
It's what's implied that counts, okay? Don't ask B that.
Hey,
She cried when she was a mushroom. So
I mean,
Leela is now slightly faster because goblins are medium creatures and they've got 30 feet movement.
I mean, I don't want to say goblins are ugly, but they immediately covered you up. They didn't cover Foundling up.
Foundling doesn't have anything to cover up. So
I think with Foundling it was a case of curiosity first of all,
My
then-
carapace is showing.
and then blanket.
Okay.
So
It's
the
what have you done, Cedric?
well, I was thinking small, and I was thinking the letter G.
Is this Leela?
I hope so. Otherwise, it's gone much
She,
worse than it looks.
she's not talking very much for Leela.
I think she
Say something.
understand what's just happened to her.
Can you see where we are?
I'm more debating of do I keep the voice or do I go for something different?
the voice
I
is
don't-
funnier.
I don't think my throat could handle it, but it just implied that there would be a slight change in voice.
A little bit raspier, but with the same.
Yeah,
Leela,
I can't.
we brought you back, but you don't look yourself necessarily. I need to make you aware of this.
You're looking a bit green.
Look at your hands. They are slightly longer, nails a little bit pointier. So the hands come to your face and you start feeling around. The jaw is a little bit. Gnomes are a little bit bulbous, but you're sort of feeling around and you can feel the teeth are a lot sharper. The ears are longer. This isn't normal. You're not usually green.
Still good. Go.
You're also naked in front of all these strangers, apart from a blanket. That's
No, I'm not. I've got a thing. Yeah, I've got a blanket on me. It's fine. Chill.
That's fine.
You do have a naked Foundling in front of you, because no one's
That's
bothered to
fine.
give him anything.
Just what I ordered.
No.
Just.
That's probably the same noise that the drones made when they exploded.
Yeah. So I'm back.
Yes, you are.
This is interesting,
Yes.
but you know, I
You're
could
not
probably
dead.
Make it work.
You're not dead. That is a good thing.
My main question:
Mm.
where are my drones? Drones? Anybody drones? I met Athena. She gave me some cool shit. Like I got this stuff. Where's my stuff? Why? What? Where's my stuff? I got some cool stuff. We're gonna have a girls' night together. She gave me cool stuff. Like guys, why am I green?
So many yees.
The internet cutting out was perfect. Then.
Yeah, a perfect freeze frame for this.
And as Leela is frozen in kryptonite forever, in carbonite.
Oh,
it sounded like
sorry.
she was exiting the Matrix, right at the start.
Yeah. Nice.
That is the title of this week's episode.
What?
Why am I green? I will say at this point, I think your drones
Covered.
Well,
very
Asher, did you see what happened to the drones?
Well, I'm not sure if you've noticed, but anything within about a mile, bar myself, was completely
And-
incinerated and turned to
and-
dust.
Our dragon friend over here.
Yes, I did notice as well. Unfortunately, Leela, your drones were destroyed.
A blast of cosmic power versus your mechanical instruments doesn't really fare well
Yeah.
on your drone side.
The warranty doesn't cover that.
You'd pass the liability
God
line,
damn it.
unfortunately.
I am sure you can build new ones.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess it'll give me something to do whilst I try and figure out why I'm still green.
You might be green forever.
Oh well. Like, I
Oh,
can make it work.
if you wait 7 days, I could kill you, then bring you back again.
I like it. let's put a pin in that. Definitely, possibly.
Plan B.
Like I might get used to this. I could quite like this. We'll give it a try. New experiment. Let's see how things go. Like yeah,
You
totally.
might
But
come to like it. I know
I
Kafina
might
liked
like
being a
it.
mushroom for a bit. It looks
You're
like
a
Kafina
mushroom? Oh my
like
god.
you liked it, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be glaring so angrily back at you, just like you know I didn't.
See,
I cried for a day.
It's like Kafina's insight is not high enough to pick up on the right.
she was very strong about it.
I can tell. Like mushrooms, man. They're tough.
Do not worry about the external form. Your inner spirit is still the same, and that is what matters.
I mean, I'm more worried about the stuff we don't have anymore. You know, like I'm pretty sure we got some pretty important stuff from Athena. Like, I hope you caught these guys up, but there's a
Yes.
lot to catch them up on. Like,
I
come
suppose
on.
that would still be on Olympus. I'm not sure how we're going to get that back.
You could just ask. As a voice of a man comes from behind, and you just see sitting on Foundling's shoulder about a 6-inch tall figure of a man, sort of salt and pepper hair and beard, holding a stick with 2 snakes standing around it.
Is he also naked?
No, he's dressed.
You're very small.
I felt it would be appropriate.
Small?
Presume I recognise this as likely being some manifestation of Hermes.
Yeah, it is a small manifestation of Hermes. But those gone.
Small.
No, I'm still here. Just shutting my video off means the stream's better.
Oh, fair enough.
So give me a sec. Give me a second. I'll come back. Carry on.
Okay.
Hermes, I'm honoured you've joined us. Yes, if you would be willing, that would be greatly appreciated, and it may aid us in saving the world and the gods.
Well, my sister would be somewhat irritated if you left her gifts behind, so we'll call it a favour, and when all this is done, you can perhaps do something for me.
Certainly, I would be honoured.
Well, here we go, and he waves his stick, and the 2 snakes that are entwined around it just unhinge their jaws and vomit your stuff onto the floor, onto the deck of the ship.
Great. So now I'm green, and my shit's covered in vomit. Great.
Thank
day,
you,
guys.
Hermes.
Goblin Leela's like really angry or sassy. I don't know, somewhere along those lines.
She's gonna get sassy about this guy.
Be more respectful of Hermes, Lilo. You owe him a favour as well now.
Thanks, Hermes.
Sarcastic. Yes. That's where we were going.
You're very welcome. Ta-ta now, and he just vanishes.
So we have all our stuff.
Yep, you have your stuff.
Cool. I will read on my gear.
Yeah.
Those are your.
Does the gear even fit?
Not quite. It's a little small. The magical stuff like your armor does expand to fit you
Yeah.
because it's magic. But your shoes that are not magical are a little squeeze.
I'll fashion it into something.
Not that
I'll
you need
put it.
floating here.
Fine.
Anyway. But towards the you've now come towards the end of your journey. Cedric, you have managed to read 6 hours of your book because you obviously had to stop for 2 to start your stuff.
I have put 6 hours in, so that's good.
Good
Do
man.
I have any time in the remainder of the journey to read a bit of the tome?
Yeah, I'd say you've got 2 hours.
Whoop, whoop. Making a start.
Making a dent. But you start to come to the point of Giant Head.
Why are we returning here? Is it for the ship?
We will discuss
Yes.
when we're a little bit alone.
Okay.
But yes, mainly for the other ship.
It seems like we have missed some time. I remember this being about a few hours journey. It didn't feel like we were dead for that long, but I suppose things differ from one realm to the next.
Potentially. What happened when you were dead?
We found ourselves at the base of Olympus, where Athena met us.
Great
She-
girl, gonna have a girls' night with her. There was a guy playing the violin. Great. I'll catch you up later.
Yes, she gave us food and drink, and we talked, and we were able to do a little research in her library before we were returned to life. For which, thank you, Cedric. If there is ever anything I can do to you, I owe you another big favor as well.
It's not at all a problem. Make
Yes,
good use of
thank you, Cedric, and that's not sarcastic. I do appreciate you bringing me back to life, and yeah, if we can get me back to me, that'd be great
I'm
too.
happy to try.
Thank you.
But yes, so as you're sort of tootling along, Leela, you do have that. You do have the information of where people were going if it is brought up, where the different planes were headed to, which I can either message you or I can just say it for you if you prefer.
Please, yeah, just say it.
Okay. So as you're sort of having general discussions along the journey, the information that you get is sort of confirm some of the stuff that you already knew, that the team, the attacking Solrisa is the elemental plane of water. The Feywild is targeting Nexus. Demons and the Abyss will be going to Abalos. Fireplane to Miztumal. Air to Gaia's Desire. Earth to South Peak. And Devils will be attacking below Maymore. And the Astral Plane will be attacking from above.
So good news all round, yeah? Cool.
Does that mean the places where we have removed the person in charge, there won't be an attack from?
No, there still will be an attack. There are other forces than the visionaries themselves that will break through.
Okay, but we've at least weakened those forces.
Temporarily, at least, I think. Athena implied it was a delay more than a full stop.
Bear in mind, like she's only been around a few days, and bloody hell, like a lot's happened.
Yes,
Like,
quickly for Leela.
that's all she can muster right now.
Okay. So you make your way back to the head, at which point your gift allies bid you farewell, take their ship and float away, leaving you behind.
Where are we putting this gem? That's really uncomfortable having it under there.
There's probably somewhere inside we can stash it.
Ah,
Are
is
you
that
sure?
what you didn't want to talk about in front of the gift?
Are you sure we don't want to go with the dreadnought plan?
Sorry, what?
I
I-
feel like that's going to get us in more trouble than it's worth.
I
Although
just
I do
worry
like
about.
the premise.
I just worry about. I mean, we leave it here unguarded. It just gets taken.
And if they don't know it's here, and it's hidden,
I mean, this. I don't know. It just feels like this is where they'd expect it to either have been left or. I mean, I don't know. They'll come looking here. I would have thought.
and so that's why we need to hide it there.
What? Why can't we take it with us?
We have moved it quite far from its original. Oh yeah, so we can't take it because it will teleport back to this plane if we try to take it off it.
Ah.
But we have moved it from its original location by at least
get ya.
8 hours.
Get ya. Hiding place. Hiding place. Hiding place. I'll find something. She runs off and tries to find a hiding place. Not too far. Like, I don't know. Where are we? Where are we in the head? Are we in the head?
If you're making your way into the head at the moment, I
Oh,
think
so we're not there yet. Okay, right.
you're
Wait.
there. You're just floating by the ear,
Okay.
but you can be making your way through if you so wish.
I will go in following you.
Okay.
Do any of us have any expertise in setting traps to maybe protect it?
No, but I have some experience with mining, and I'm thinking we could hide it behind some of the infrastructure here.
I can hide things pretty well. Including myself.
As the visionary may well reappear anyway, focusing too much on hiding the crystal may not make much difference. Something that will suffice for the short term may be sufficient. And beyond that, it wouldn't matter.
Can I try and find somewhere that I think might be suitable?
Make an investigation check. How far into the first of all, how far into the brain are you the head are you wanting to go? Because there are the 4 passages once you get into there, one which leads to the other.
Did we ever check the other one?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh.
I have picked up a new spell which would be useful for this. I think.
Okay.
Let me just try cast my mind back and look up the spell details. Where is it? Transmute rock. Do we have any mud?
What?
So I can turn mud into rock. So we could put it somewhere, cover it in mud, then I could turn it into solid rock.
I tell you what, I'm going to use my primeval senses to try and see if there are any aberrations within like a mile.
Okay. Bear with me.
Uh-oh. He says,
If we do not have any mud, I have a unusual suggestion. This is a head, and heads have teeth. Sometimes teeth develop cavities. Maybe we could hide it in something like that.
make it a filling.
That's telling.
Hey, we're brainstorming there. No bad ideas.
Right, no.
Compared to feeding it to dreadnoughts, you know, that's quite sensible.
How specific is the primeval awareness?
By spending 1 uninterrupted minute in concentration, you can sense whether any of your favored enemies are present within 5 miles of you.
Okay, what's the next paragraph?
The feature reveals which of your favorite enemies are present, presumably which group,
Yes.
their numbers, and the creature's general direction and distance in miles.
Okay. There are. Actually, this is something else I need to very quickly check actually, because there is a different.
This is where we've realised we've made a horrible mistake.
Those
It will also
loopholes.
tell me if there are any monstrosities or dragons, I guess.
I mean, there is a dragon behind you.
Yeah.
The monstrosity is Leela, because she...
Aww.
Wow.
Primeval awareness, yes, sorry. I will do the thing. Okay, it doesn't give you that much information. Okay. You get the sense that there are 2 groups and 2 individual aberrations. The groups have got thousands in them.
Okay, let's not go that way.
One of them is in the direction of the blimp. The other one is in the opposite direction, further down the neck.
And where?
As are the other. As is one of the main ones. That one is quite a large pulse of energy that is down in that way in an aberration form. Another one is up right at the top of the brain, so presumably looking at the elder brain.
Do you make this?
I recall what the Gith said about tadpoles. The illithid tadpoles. Are they? I'm presuming these are quite close.
Yeah, it's basically there is one big block of multiple facets that are just sort of spinning around in a sort of movement in a container, seemingly, the way that they are moving. Within them seems that they are limited with their movement, as opposed to the 2 slightly larger essences, one that is slightly larger, one that is significantly larger. The significantly larger one seems to be making its way towards you, but slowly.
Knew you were going to say that.
Is it 2 quite close? I mean, within the head.
No, there is one which is sort of just is a larger than the tadpoles, but not huge. The one that is the largest presence is further down towards the neck, essentially.
It is in this vicinity, though, and it is coming this way.
Yeah, but very slowly.
I will relay this to everyone.
So in this realm, if it's moving slowly, that means it is not particularly fast of thought.
I will ensure my shield is out and I am ready.
Okay.
I will be searching round this area. If there is anywhere I can put this gem.
Athena has blessed my weapons. We will see how well they serve.
Can I have advantage because I'm doing it with a view to getting the fuck out of it?
No. I don't think that'd be disadvantage because you're panicking.
Investigation.
Yes.
19.
Okay. You look around. You guys are probably in the cross chamber at the moment. You're about to decide which way to go. There isn't anywhere really good to put things on. It's been it's quite smooth around here.
Is the Nautiloid, the ship, a living being?
No.
It's not. So
But-
it's not that. That's. See, I was sort of expecting there still to be some spectators at the other ear.
They apparently are not there. Or if there were some there, they've gone. Just make an intelligence check with advantage because this is information about aberrations.
Just straight intelligence, though.
These are mind witnesses rather than spectators. They're slightly
Unnatural 20.
okay. Mind witnesses, as they properly are. The expectation was that they would be on the other side as well. When the elder brain or the mind flares that they are connected to die, they very rapidly imprint onto other intelligent beings and sort of follow them around. So it's entirely possible that someone else has come by and they've just sort of gone, ooh, shiny, and gone off.
Leela.
Just a group of ducklings,
Just duckling.
just imprinted wrongly.
Little ducklings.
But they have been known to seek out telepathic creatures. So they have been known in times to ally with demons and sort of shift their worldview and changing alignments to that of their new masters. But they have also wandered off with flumps every so often. If they just happen to come across a telepathic being and just left.
So something telepathic has come this way.
At some point in the last day.
That's concerning. So we've got all these tadpoles, which we probably ought to try and do something about anyway.
Well, sorry, I should clarify. That's what you kind of deduced, that something may have gone this way. They may have also just wandered off because there was nothing keeping them here.
I guess, yeah.
They could have just left of their own volition because they were.
So the tadpole's one thing, but we have these two other
Presence.
beings.
Yes. Yeah, that's just Laura gone completely.
Oh, she's left the chat.
Yeah, I think that's just her internet fail. So we'll carry on with that.
Anyone have any ideas?
About what?
What we should do?
We need to get to the ship, don't we? Isn't it our plan on how to travel?
Didn't you say there was one individual up near the brain?
Yeah, she's back.
Sorry.
It's okay.
What happened?
Nothing.
Again.
Huh?
You died
We're,
again.
we're now going
I'm dead again. Okay.
too much in the other way. Too much.
You're now a micing it.
But yes, what are you guys doing?
Are we going to go back to the material plane if we can work the ship?
That was the idea.
He thinks that's the best alternative to any other plan.
Okay, you make your way towards the ship. How are you traveling? Normally, stealthily, quickly?
Shield and sword out.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been alerted by Lyra, so weapons ready.
Okay.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Weapons ready.
Should we try sneaky?
I would say sneaky, sneaky.
Wait for Lord for headphones back on before I say, everybody make a stealth check.
Just to check, I presume I don't get advantage on stealth rolls because I'm not trying to walk silently in my boots.
No, you do not.
Oh, it's with disadvantage as well.
Yeah. It's
I actually rolled worse.
Asher presumably isn't in her armor.
Yeah, I put it on the thing, so it's a disadvantage.
Oh, you did put it on. Okay, fine. You would have gone away with that because you didn't say, but it's fine. All right, Crux.
32.
Cedric.
3. That's with disadvantage, but I mean the other roll would have been a 4. So.
Foundling.
I would like to rage at my dice.
Is it a 1?
I rolled a natural 1. Total of 6.
Oh,
Lyra.
How is this
25.
possible? It defies all laws of probability.
Well, no, I think the probability. I think the problem is that you have to be the antithesis of me because I roll a lot of 20s. Kafina.
19.
Asher.
2.
Leela.
8.
Okay, so
That's all right.
Cruz, Lyra, and Kafina, you are floating through the air quite cautiously. Foundling, you and Leela, Cedric, and Asher, you are amazed by so many things that are going through here. Your nerves are you're sort of thinking about how much.
Sounds like
I'm
ping ponging.
I'm
off
still
the
getting
floor.
used to my body.
Yeah, I was getting to that. Your form is slightly bigger than you're used to. Even with the fact you don't have to worry too much about your shoes because you're not walking. Sort of the various bits of scrap metal that exist in there are full. Then she's gone, and she's still there, ish.
I'm it. No, I'm it.
You're sort of checking yourself over, which means you're just sort of rattling various bits of metal that exist in your bag. Cedric, you're sort of going,
Yeah.
how can I fix this goblin? I like goblins.
I do like goblins. I guess she can't speak goblin now.
Nope.
That's a shame. I never have anyone to talk goblin with now.
Asher,
Oh,
you're
she'll learn.
Asher, you're not quite. You're too busy trying to keep an eye on what's coming behind you, if anything. So Shatterfang's just scraping along the sides of the walls. And Foundling, somehow you trip over something and just sort of crash into a wall. You're not quite sure how this works. You sort of wish that you'd come across the goddess of intelligence rather than wisdom.
Or goddess of stealth.
Or indeed the goddess of stealth. Being the goddess of these, I suspect.
Yeah, I'm probably still going. I met 2 gods today, and not really having my mind on what's going on in reality.
Yeah. So much to the chagrin of the 3 stealthier folks, you make your way into the chamber, and Lyra and Cedric make perception checks, please.
You can't just use my passive perception of 30 now.
Because this is actively looking around.
27.
Oh, you can advantage if you have your shield.
26.
Oh, I do actually have advantage. So 27 or 21. So I'll take the 27, please.
27, 26. The two of you look up, straight up where the Elder Brain was held, and there is a Mind Flayer there who seems to be doing what looks to be very similar to internment rites. He's sort of doing some sort of weird funeral for a brain. Whether or not they are setting up for that sort of thing, they are distracted enough to not notice what's going on.
Wow.
Smashing.
Even with all of these rolls.
Don't question him.
But you are able to sort of float to the bank, float to the blimp, make your way inside. You find yourself in the main central chamber, where there are essentially 3 chairs, which have got hand placements available. So from the previous investigations, you found that 3 creatures would be needed to start this up and to control it. That would need to make intelligence checks to try and.
I'm okay then.
Before we go, are we going to try to hide the crystal? Because if we try to leave the plane, won't it just revert to its previous location?
But do we want to leave it here, where there are still some
We can.
baddies?
Could we fly the ship somewhere in this plane?
I think
I suppose people might notice a big ship flying around.
think no matter where we leave it, there's going to be a baddie and such anywhere near it. So here's as good place as any.
Cedric, you hear a rumbling
Oh no!
in the
Is it my
distance.
stomach? Oh no.
Something,
Boy, I'm hungry. This has been a long day.
something is moving through the stone.
No.
Something is moving through the stone. In which direction, please?
It is below you, so coming up towards the head.
Everyone, there's something below us. Get ready.
I mean,
Am I able to just try and pilot this ship immediately?
so are you? Who is piloting, if anyone?
I know it can potentially cripple you and drive you crazy, but I would be willing to try.
So Kafina is already waving her hand to say she will volunteer.
She's probably already doing the same thing as Asher and pressing on the gas and trying to get out of there.
Okay, so the two of you are sat on one of the chairs, each with hands ready to go.
Leela?
After
You need to
she'll probably be like, ah,
Got bigger intelligence than anyone else, so
it's wisdom, no. Is it?
It's intelligence.
Oh, I thought it was
The
wisdom.
smart people should be steering this huge ship.
Ashes
I
just
mean-
flicking switches and pressing buttons.
I'm having a bit of a rough day. but-
Switches, really. They're just there to push things.
I would like to brace myself.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
everyone so
Fine.
familiar
Then with
the
all of
controls.
my intelligence in my arms, I press whatever it is that looks like it makes it go forward.
Brace your
Just-
hands on the two prints either side of the arm.
Is there actually a way out forward?
Yeah, I seem to remember we found a mechanism to open the jaw.
Yeah.
I would like to go and try and operate that.
Okay, you go out and you see the thing. You now start hearing the sort of along with the sort of scraping of various things as you sort of you see the mind flares. You're sort of stealthing around behind, looking down, and eyes sort of wide open. As you manage to get across to the jaw mechanism, you pull it, and the lower jaw just completely unhinges and drops, leaving a
Lyra, get ready to make a jump on a mid-flight.
I mean-
leave the back door open.
Jump is a bit of a pointless term in this place with no
We're just going to
gravity.
drive by pick it,
But
Lyra.
I will be ready to grab onto something if I can.
Okay. You could have dragged a rope out behind you if you so chose, if you wanted to.
If there was a handy rope tied to something,
There are handy ropes that are tied as using for docking for various points, so there is a rope.
and I probably would have grabbed one of those just in case something went wrong.
Yeah.
How big is the hole now left from the jaw?
It's opened very quickly, actually. It seems to have been designed to open to give a very quick getaway. The mind flayer up at the top has suddenly turned around and seen you, Lyra, as you're doing this, as you're grabbing onto the rope. Are the three of you grabbing on and starting to go?
Yeah, okay.
Make intelligence check.
Punch it, Chewie.
Next.
Oh, thank God.
Wait, is this just straight intelligence?
Just a check.
Intelligence.
24.
Nice.
Oh.
10.
21.
So, Kafina, you take 7 points of psychic damage as you sort of try and feel your mind through that. You feel the much stronger minds of Asher and Leela are also there trying to gain dominance over it. They seem to grab hold of some parts of it, but you can't push through that barrier. Make another intelligence check, please.
15.
That is exactly what you needed.
Oh.
I've got a
You?
+4. I've got a +4, but you can't get proficiency in a straight check. So, you know,
Yeah.
if it were Arcana, this would be different.
Why do you think I chose straight intelligence? But you managed to now push through, and you feel that connection now with Asher and Leela. You feel the speed of thought that Leela rattles off, sort of going through the back of your mind, and the contemplative, protective nature of Asher. And those things seem to sort of balance out in your mind. You sort of feel that motherly instinct as well as that, oh my God, let's discover him, this thing to discover. That's kind of the duality of your nature. As everything starts to move on, you now start to think as one. Your mind snaps. and you understand how to move this. You think forward, and the thing starts to move quickly. It has a movement speed of 100 feet. But it does take a little bit of time to get up to that movement. It doesn't just suddenly go straight off and leave Lyra behind with no arms. It does
Putting myself.
Myself pulling rope.
Yeah, pulling the rope and pulling in. As it comes to that, you just hit, and you see this giant worm-like thing come straight out of the cavern that you were in. Large, long tentacles spiraling out from its mouth. It sees the mind flare at the top, and a cone of acid fires out, and because it's no resistance, it just keeps going and splashes over the other thing. It writhes and screams with pain. It sees you hanging onto the rope and changes direction, rapidly trying to move towards you, using as much motion as it can to try and grab onto the outside of the thing. You're being yanked inside by Cruz and pulled inside, but you just feel the impact as it grabs onto the end. Asher, Leela, and Kafina, you are pulling away. You're trying to make it go faster, and you're getting away. You also know, in your mind, you know how you can transport this. If you were to focus on a single location on the material plane, you can get this ship there.
Where the hell are we going?
As the ship starts to accelerate, you start to feel around you as well. You can feel this thing suddenly slucker onto the backside of the blimp and just sort of wrap itself around.
We were so close. We were so close to doing a cool Millennium Falcon escape from the asteroid.
But it just sort of is now wrapping its way around, and it sort of you can all feel its feelers, like it's going through your own brain and just sort of reaching over the top of it. It is very disconcerting.
I didn't get an answer on how big the entrance was.
Big enough for them to escape through.
Okay, I'm just wanting to see
How big's the blimp?
I was planning on trying to. Oh no, would I better do that?
It's probably the gap itself is probably about 100 feet.
Okay, it's not. I wouldn't be able to do it then. I was thinking of trying to plug it with something.
But it is suckered around the outside of the blimp, holding on as you sort of fly forward.
In this moment, because I mean, Fee probably thinks even faster than Leela when she's shit scared. So her just basic instinct is to go home. I don't know where Leela and Asher are instinctively wanting to run the fuck off to.
The message from Kafina that just comes through is home, 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 home. The two of you, what are you thinking?
Jorvik.
You're home, basically.
Just,
Leela?
I mean, I don't know what much that. I'm more thinking kind of like, how the hell do we get this thing off? Are there any weapons on this ship, like attached to it?
Send your mind. There are weapons on this ship. There are psionic cannons which blast outwards. There are tentacles which can reach out and sort of slap inside. They are contained within the blimp because the blimp is designed as a camouflage for flying through and not drawing too much attention. But there are tentacles which can, tear off buildings, tear off ballistic or sky ships, attack flying creatures.
Is there anything specifically on there for blasting a big worm?
Yeah, funnily enough, no.
Yeah.
Have I managed to get onto the blimp yet?
You are inside. You have been pulled in by Cruz.
Okay, I'm worried.
Oh.
I'm worried this is it 30 feet from me? You're saying it's attached to the outside of this thing?
Wrapped around the outside of the blimp.
Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I would like to try Charm Monster.
Okay, you're going to have to go outside so you can see it.
That's fine.
There is a platform on the top, which is where you suspect the three of you that are connected understand that this is where the elder brain sits, so that it can observe everything. But there is basically a platform on top. So you sort of climb up the ladder. You can see.
I'll go with Cedric in case he needs defending.
Okay. You see this massive, open-mouthed maw just at you, completely eyeless, and just sort of flying aroround. Make it's a wisdom saving throw.
It's a wisdom saving throw from it. Now it has advantage if it's fighting us, which I guess I don't know if it is. I guess it is. but I thought it was worth mentioning.
Natural 20, unfortunately.
Every time.
As you do that, it glares at you, and you feel this probing presence just strike you in the center of the mind. I need you to make an intelligence saving
Oh
throw.
yeah, that's going to go great. Don't worry about it. Wait, no, I do actually have. I remember I've got a
Proficiency.
I got proficiency. I always forget I have proficiency. Okay, that's all right. It's a 21.
21, okay. You feel this mind trying to draw away
I
your
hope
own
it's all
intelligence. You feel,
Don't assume anything.
Yeah.
but you manage to shrug it off and steel yourself against it. You do take 14 points of psychic damage, but you are not obliterated by feeble mind. As it sort of, and that is where we'll pick up next week.
Oh God. Oh,
God.
Lordy.
Get out.
Because
That's
otherwise,
a good cliffhanger.
this is going to be a
Whew.
and I know some people have got stuff to do. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of what that thing looks like because it is fucking terrifying.
Sounds it.
But it sounds it.
Yeah, it is this big writhing purple worm that is. It's not a purple worm, obviously, but it is just a slime
Do you
covered
think
worm.
it's a purple worm? Can't retract that. Now.
Apple one.
Much safer.
Right, purple people eater.
This is great, though. We found something even better to guard the gem for us. Quick, pop it.
Throw it inside. Just throw it in its mouth.
So yeah, we'll pick that up next week. Laura, do you know what you're going to be doing next week, work-wise?
Yes, it's been pushed back again. I will be going back on the 23rd, so I think I've got 2 Fridays with you left for guaranteed.
Resolve.
Just enough time to kill her again.
Woo!
Turn her back into a goblin and have a go. Nope, I'm done. I'm going home. Back into a gnome.
So
Nope,
yes,
don't
I
go.
think I've got 2. I've definitely got 1, but I'd have to. I'll have to check the second. But I've definitely got 1 more left.
so yes, so we'll have Laura with us for another week or 2. So we'll enjoy that.
Yay!
I know it's great. Dom, enjoy the rest of your birthday for the next hour and a half.
Thank you.
And for that, thank you very much for joining us. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and we'll see you